Looking a little bit at the psychology of Steve Jobs, and as it,
This is your shout out to the
this
Psychology Club
this
members.
is a Psychology Club right here, and a big thanks to Jenny, who we're going to bring up at the end, who really spearheaded getting Adam here, but what talk a little bit about this idea when sometimes when the employees would meet with Steve, he's legendary for just berating people and just kind of ripping into them for the sake of he kind of puts it for the sake of the product. And did that I can read your exact line here that you said, there's a mentality that it's okay to shred somebody in the spirit of making the best products. And how do you think did this affect job performance? Was the effect completely positive? And I'd say post 1997, we don't need to go into the past, but post 1997, was that in the end a positive thing for the company?
Well, so first of all, the passage you read wasn't about jobs. It's about the corporate culture. It's about the behavior generally, not specifically. And was it successful? I think there's plenty of there's only evidence to suggest that it has been successful. So the question in a variety of measures, whether it's market capitalization, profits, number of units sold, leadership in markets, it's been almost completely successful. So the questions become: is it sustainable? Did they succeed because of this behavior or in spite of this behavior? Because perfectly reasonable people will find this type of behavior repugnant.
Sure.
Someone said to me, I have a 5-year-old daughter, and someone said to me, how would you feel if when she grows up she went to work at Apple? And people assume I'm going to say, oh God, that I wouldn't want that. And I don't think anything of the sort. If it was her dream to work in that environment, to create those types of things, I'd say, I'm so proud of you. And so I think we all make trade-offs in our careers and our lives. And if Apple people view it as a trade-off, that you're going to be on the receiving end of a really unpleasant conversation for a variety of reasons, and the flip side of that is I'm going to contribute to greatness, then I'm not judging that decision on their part. But you raised something interesting. I mean, I'm told the conversations get nasty and they get personal and even petty, but the way the arguments are won is on what's best for the product, what's best for serving the customer. I believe, it sounds corny, I believe Apple really believes that. Mm-hmm. And now, I don't believe that you have to be a jerk to accomplish that. So, as I mentioned, I run a conference. A conference involves making a lot of decisions about what's going to go in what slot, who's going to go on stage, who's going to get to moderate it, and we disagree all the time, and we bend over backwards to disagree amicably and respectfully. I think we're really successful at it.
Well, so like you say, it was successful from a market cap perspective. It was successful from a product perspective. What about from a people perspective? You spoke with these people. They gave you, you had all these sources telling you the truth. Did it affect these people in negative ways? Did it affect them in positive? It affected their work in positive ways, but sure. Personally,
well, there's a few issues here. And I don't write this in the book, but anecdotally, you hear about Apple people being under just a severe amount of stress, and in some cases, debilitating amount of stress. And these are generalizations, and so they don't apply everywhere, and it varies by job function and by level. But these are anecdotes, and it's not the only company where people are under a ton of stress. But it is a place where you're expected to give your all. And again, that's cliche at a lot of places, but at Apple they mean it. They use it in a little handout that they give on this new employee orientation. They say something along the lines of you can expect to do your life's best work here, but you're going to be swimming in the deep end. This is a place where you're going to want to work weekends because it's that hard. You're going to be out of your comfort zone. So I think I veered away a little bit from your question. Does it affect people, right? Yeah, but then people, but they have incredible longevity too, and not just at the top, but at all levels of the organization. People tend to stick around for a really long time. I'll give you a slightly different observation that you didn't ask, but another fascinating characteristic of the psychological culture of Apple is that it is understood. Not only do you keep secrets, but that you're going to devote all your time and energy to Apple at work, to Apple.
Sure.
And that none of this brand of you bullshit that is so popular. It's the brand of Apple. Full stop. You don't like that? You don't have to work here. Now, it's obvious why that's good for shareholders and why that's good for customers, why it's good for the company. But I have heard people say, how having said that, I toiled for all these years and I came out and nobody knew who the hell I was.
Right.
I think on balance it's working out pretty well because I may not know who the hell you are, but I know you worked at Apple for 10 years and you couldn't be a moron if you worked at Apple for 10 years.
Or I know
That's
what
my
you worked
assumption.
on. I've used your work.
So again, trade-offs.